I want to thank the thousands of business owners who have been through my programs, been to my events, and who have entrusted me with their dreams. One of them is here with us today, Mr. Brett Kirchner. Brett, thank you for being here with me. How are you feeling?
Feeling great, man. How you doing today?
I feel amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm really thankful for you being here. You have just been just outstanding to work with over the last few years. I'm thankful that the people here get a chance to meet you because you're a great guy. And so, how about this? When I say find a need, fill a need, get paid to you, what does it mean to you?
I mean, there's so much meaning behind that statement, and I feel like over the course of the past 2 years, I've been living that statement just by working with you. Basically, find a need, fill a need, get paid. Is really how the inception of my brokerage, Kirchner Capital, came into fruition. So it's like we got to a point where it's like, hey, Will, I'm looking to venture into mergers and acquisitions. It's like, where do I get started? It's so overwhelming, so many different avenues. And just like, okay, well, how about you just start getting on the calls with business owners and figure out what the need is. So I did that. And you tasked me, you kind of we put like a little bet on it, get on the phone with 100 people in the next 30 days and I'll take you out to dinner. But if you don't do, 100, you take me out to dinner.
Tell them about the first one that's already super successful and like how we met and how it's grown over the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So let's see. Comeback Care. I am Comeback Care. It's an outpatient treatment center for substance use disorder. We, originally got started back in April 2022. I started working with Will June of 23, and that was definitely a blessing because I went through his program. And again, I'm not a finance major. I'm not a business major. I went to school for biology and chemistry, but for me, I've always knew I was an entrepreneur. So really to be able to work with Will and his team gave me really the systems and structure that, laid out before me to really run and start a sustainable business, specifically stressing cash flow. Like I'm a numbers guy, and just the way that Will and his team was able to break down cash flow and just the importance of it, how cash flow really paints a picture and is like a language of how the business is, going to perform, really getting concrete on, what are your projections and really if I want to be at X, what is it, what do I need to do in the next 6 months in order to get to X? So with that being said, I was able to, revamp the finances, really take control of the finances, afford the ability to hire someone full time to run the day-to-day operations and that we're talking about, I'm in a year two into the business to be able to afford the opportunity to do this, which gave me the opportunity to work on the business, not in the business. I know you've heard people say find a good mentor. Well, Will's been an abundance of a mentor when it comes to just his knowledge and information, and just really hold me accountable and really meshing and syncing well with how I operate and just really understanding what my needs are and helping me fill them for sure.
I appreciate that, Brett. Let me ask you this. Was there, I know we've been, we talk like what, once, twice a week at least. Was there a turning point for you where you're just like, okay, like that, either that piece of advice or maybe it was some strategy that we took or we created together that really made a big difference?
Yeah, I think it's just understanding the importance of the cash flow yet again, like, that, afforded me the ability to really budget really well and have the projections almost to a T.
That's, I think it's just amazing. But for you, we made such rapid just rapid movement. And it was so much growth, I think, because we would talk and you would execute and you would say, look, I got it done. What's next? In fact, you won't have meetings in between meetings because you had already worked on things and gotten it done. Where does that come from? That drive, that like what is that? What's in you that makes you want to keep pushing and keep growing? What causes that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Will. I've always been very, being a single father for the past 11 years, has definitely lit a fire, so I've kind of leveraged that, it all kind of boils down to leverage at the end of the day. So figuring out your why And also just I heard a statement, success like speed, you know. So for me, like it's not like making like an impulsive decision. It's obviously sitting down and getting strategic about it. But you know, as the days go on, you know, we can think about it and put it down on paper. But again, if you're not executing on it, nothing's going to get done. Um, so I think for me, just really understanding that, and again, don't get me wrong, I have my moments of procrastination, you know, and that's why I feel like it's so critical knowing that, oh, shoot, I got a call with Will in 24 hours and this homework list is not done. So just for me, like specifically, just have an accountability person, for sure. But it really does boil down to that reason why I'm doing this, you know, building a legacy for my family. You know, I don't come from money or anything of that nature, but just having a kid and just really just getting excited about, you know, where my son will be starting versus where I started, and just you know, being able to, you know, afford him the opportunity, in addition to the opportunities that I've been able to provide my team members that come back here. You know, just being able to, you know, work with them. Every time I interviewed someone, I was just like, where do you want to be? And just if I can help someone, you know, achieve their dream, I mean, that's what I deem successful. You know, at the end of the day, the money will always be there. That's kind of like a byproduct. But yeah, that's just a little bit about your question.
We only have a few more minutes. I'll tell you, I love talking to you because you have that drive like I have to grow and help people, but also to make money. And we were talking the other day, and we were talking about, I think it was like $100,000. I was like, where's 100 grand? Come on, man. That's what, 8 grand a month. You can make that. And you were like, you're right. But I can't do that with most people. I can't. And so, or at least not yet. I'm working on it. But for you, it's so incredibly awesome to work with you because you want more and you're willing to do the work to get there. And so I want to have time for us to, to have some questions from the all the folks who are here. I mean, this is great. We have I was hoping for this number of people to be here, and we're there. So I appreciate you all coming and listening. And I'm going to give you a chance to participate in a little bit. But my last question to you, Brett, is you've already built one. I mean, it's a large business. Comeback Care is a large seven-figure business. It's doing well. What would make you want to start something new and grow something new? Why would you do that? And what's next? What do you see next for Brett Kirchner?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always this desire to, you know, I think the entrepreneurship journey is like a spiritual journey. So for me, it's just like, you know, I've grown along the way. The same Brett that started this journey 3, 4, 5 years ago is no more. And just be able to self-reflect on a regular basis of just how far I've come, you know, that supersedes any kind of, you know, dollar sign. So for me, you know, gaining a lot of confidence along the way, you know, if I'm being real, it's just like, okay, I started this company. I've made a tremendous impact in the community, especially when it, you know, in dealing with the substance abuse space. It's like, well, now that, you know, I've built this, I think we're ready to scale. So it's amazing how the opportunity to have a, you know, investor group come in with, you know, some leverage, some capital dollars to be able to scale. So that's one portion of it when it comes to comeback care. But I think for me with Kirchner Capital, it's getting to a place where I'm buying businesses, you know, and just making an impact just because I really do understand the business blueprint. And eventually just get into the whole private equity roll up kind of model. And again, yeah, so not getting too busy because again, at the end of the day, I don't want to be too busy because again, I'm a single father and it's kind of like, you know, having that freedom. But yeah, next for Brett is growing Kirchner Capital, implementation of AI, and just really also helping people achieve their dreams and showing that a single father for the past 11 years, lots of sacrifice, anything's possible. You just have to find the right mentorship. You have to just get, you know, kind of attract those people into your space by believing in yourself for sure.
As far as the system of growth, we put in place and planning things out, using cash flow, setting goals and working to hit them every day. how has that affected you? And what would you say to a person who's listening to this right now? What would you tell them as far as next steps, what they should do to kind of implement that for themselves?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, I think if you guys, follow any kind of high successful entrepreneur, they always relate their success back to systems and processes in place. Again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to go in and make it better, tweak it to your design. And really how I've kind of handled that is by, working with you on a regular basis for the past 2 years, someone that has the experience, someone that has also an abundance of resources around him to, connect you with the right lenders, the right people, attorneys, CPAs, whatever it may be. And again, just reverse engineering. If you have a goal of, starting your own company or whatever it may be, how do you get there? Reverse engineer it. And again, just working with Will, I mean, it's just invaluable information. And sometimes we don't even talk about business. We talk about, other stuff, so just having that resource. And I think accountability really goes a long way. And I think people overlook that accountability. And it really helps me if I'm accountable to Will, it really helps me be more accountable to myself. And really at the end of the day, that's truly what matters, being accountable to yourself and how you're showing up every single day.
Everybody, if you could give Mr. Brett Kirschner a round of applause. I just want to thank him so much for being here with me today.